Hey everyone, welcome to my ConvertKit tutorial. So let's dive right into exactly what's going to be covered in this video. So this video is going to start with a module on lead magnet. So how do we create a lead magnet, what we put in our lead magnets, how do we get people seeing the lead magnet. Module 2 is about landing pages and forms, which relates directly to lead magnets, as we're going to be putting our lead magnets into our forms and into our landing pages. Module 3 is all about tagging and segmenting your list. Okay, so we want to have the right people receiving the right emails. So that's why we're tagging and segmenting those people. Module 4 is about broadcasts. So how do we send a broadcast, all the special features involved in the one-off emails called broadcasts. Module 5, sequences. Okay, so once we have people into our world, we're going to send them down a certain sequence or a certain funnel in order to build trust, authority, and eventually get that sale. Module 6 is all about automation, because we don't want to be spending all our time with our emails. We want to set it up so that it takes care of itself. Okay, and that's the automation section, and that's the power of ConvertKit. And then Module 7 is going to be tying everything together and talking about how we're going to generate a positive ROI using our email list. Okay, so let's dive right into Module 1. Okay, so welcome to Module 1, lead magnets. In Module 1, we're going to create a lead magnet that is so valuable that someone will be willing to trade their email address for it. We're then going to set up a basic outline for our first funnel. So let's jump right into it. So a lead magnet, what is a lead magnet? Well, a lead magnet is something you give to someone in exchange for their email address. Once they give you their email address, they are a new lead. This can be an activity, it can be a lesson, it can be a paid product, it can be a free product, it could be a blog post, it could be a series of videos, it could be anything that provides value to someone and that they will give you their email address for that value. Every lead magnet's purpose is therefore used to bring someone into your world, into your funnel. Using the information gained in the lead magnet, i.e. the subjects they teach based on what they opted in for, send them a series of emails that build trust and provide value. This is called your funnel. Okay, so we're going to bring them into our world, we're going to use the information based on what they opted in for to tell us more about them, and then we're going to send them the correct series of emails inside our funnel. And at the end of the funnel, we're going to be able to go in for the sale, but not before. Okay, we got to provide value. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to create your first funnel on a piece of paper, starting with the lead magnet, ending with the sale. And I'm going to show you an example I created for one of mine. We're going to create a skeleton structure for the lead magnet and a 3-email sequence. Your sequence needs to provide value to your new customer and be authentic. This is very, very key. Okay, and hint, when you're choosing a product, choose one that could eventually be used in a larger bundle, because then we can show in our email sequence how these are used together. Okay, you can say, but imagine if you had this as well, for instance. Now, your sale or your lead magnet or your activity should promote a related product, like I was saying. Okay, so everything should flow from one point to the second point to the third point, all very well. Now let's have a look at the funnel I created. Here's my funnel. Okay, so what we have here is my bread in the bag demonstration activity outline. And I'll show you what that is in a second, but it's an activity for biology teachers, life science teachers. So that's the outline, okay? So it's a PDF. So you go through this funnel, you see the ad, you see the link, whatever. You want this bread in the bag demonstration activity because it's really, really cool, really gross, really cool. So you opt in for it, okay? So you go down to this part right here. You come to this link, and these are just screenshots of what I was looking at. So let me zoom in a bit here for you. So you click the link and you come here. You enter your email address. Okay, and that is your opt-in. So this is your lead magnet, this bread in the bag PDF. Okay. Now, as soon as you opt in, you're going to be tagged by the email service as a science teacher because you obviously teach science. You're going to be tagged as a life science teacher, and you're going to be tagged as someone who is interested in digestion. Okay, and then we're going to see what that does. That's going to lead us down to our other sequences. Okay, so not only are you going to be tagged as those things, so I know later on if I'm sending out an email to someone who is a biology teacher, you're going to get that email. But you're automatically going to be put into my biology sequence. Okay, so that's going to be an additional sequence that you'll get after the bread in the bag sequence of 3 emails that we're going to talk about in a second. Okay, so that's going to follow up with this because I want you to get more biology products as well. You teach digestion, so you obviously teach biology. Okay, so that's going to be going in there. Okay, so on to the first email. So in the first email is the lead magnet delivery email. Okay, so when you're making up your outline, you're going to follow this general set of instructions and you're going to make up your own email. Okay, so you're going to have a thank you so much for your interest. Here's your activity. So let's scroll down to see what my email actually looks like. So there's my subject line. Thanks for your interest. Click the link below to download your activity. Thanks, Devin. And there's the activity. Okay, so as soon as they click download in their email, it'll pop out for them. And this can be sent immediately. Okay, so as soon as they opt in, this gets sent to their email address. Now, a day later, they're going to get the second email. Now, the second email is meant to provide more value, to reconnect with your new customer, and to attach or link to another product, free or paid, but you're going to give it to them for free, that complements the first. And that's very, very key, like we talked about before. So it's got to just be like, step 2. The digestion demonstration was step 1. This needs to be step 2. So something else that they can use alongside it. Okay. And then I'm also going to tag you as someone who likes this kind of activity. For example, I'll tag you as someone who likes hands-on activities, so I can use that later. Okay. And it's also going to add you to the activity sequence. Now, you're not going to get all these emails at once. These sequences are set up so that they get sent out, say, 7 days after you're added to it. So you'll get added to the activity sequence as well. And I don't send a ton out for the activity sequence, but I do have a few things that I'm going to send to you because you obviously like activities. Email number 2, right here. So you can see this is sent out a day afterwards. There's my subject line. There's the email. I like to put a link to the original file again, just in case they didn't get the first email, in case they lost the file, whatever. We want to get that back to them. Okay, and then the rest of the email. And then it says, so have you heard of my digital scavenger hunt activities? They're completely digital and only require 1 device per 3 students. So it's a complementary activity. It's digestion, but it's a different activity. So I want to send you this because I think it'll work well inside your classroom. We know it will because they're already into digestion, right? So to download, click here. So as soon as they download, they're going to get that file. And then, thanks, I'll speak to you soon. So now they have 2 files from us, totally free, that are all about digestion, completely what they're looking for. Okay, so then they're going to get the 3rd email the next day. This is your sale email. So you've warmed them up, you've connected with them. Now you're going to try to get that sale. And you could add another email in here if you like. You could add 2 more emails if you want. I'm just going to have 3 emails in my sequence. So you're going to connect the 2 or 3 items you've already sent to an additional resource. And this is going to be a paid resource. You're going to show how they all work together and complement each other. And you're going to explain why purchasing this additional item will make their lives easier. Okay? I'm going to tag you. If you click this link, I'm going to tag you as someone who's interested in digestive system 5Es, okay, because that's what my example is going to be. So it's going to be a 5E lesson. So I'm going to tag you as someone who's digestive system 5E interest and 5E interest in general. And again, that's going to put you into this other sequence that we'll send out eventually. Okay, I might set this for 20 days later or what have you. I'm going to stagger it. But I'm going to send you into my 5E sequence. So I'm going to try to get you to look at some of my other 5E lessons later on. Okay? And that gives you your product link that you mentioned in the previous email. So let's take a look at what my 3rd email looks like. So bring your whole digestive unit together. Okay, so you have the demonstration, you have the scavenger hunt. Now let's bring things together. What I'd like to offer you is my complete digestive system 5E unit bundle. In it, you'll get the activities I've already mentioned, plus the lab station activity, lesson, and a quiz that ties everything together. You'll also get a day-by-day walkthrough. So you are trying to show them that what they have is great, but if they want something more or they want to make their lives easier, they want this bundle. Okay. So it's not necessary, but it does bring the unit together nicely. I use it every year with my students, and since everything comes from the same source, you're not trying to puzzle everything together, right? It's all there. It's all laid out, okay? The dates, the times, everything is in order, and all they got to do is plug and play, and they're good to go. And as an added bonus, I'm going to give it to you for 73% off, okay? So all you do is you click this link, you enter this code, and you're going to get this whole thing for only $3.89. It's a pretty good deal. Okay, thanks, and I'll speak to you soon. And that's my 3 email sequence. Okay, I've warmed them up, or I've given them, I've given them the bread in the bag activity. I've sent it here in the first email. I've sent it again, as well as sending them another complimentary activity. And then I've tied it all together and offered this additional resource, okay, for just a small amount more. And that's my funnel, okay? And in the meantime, I've also tagged the person multiple times for multiple different things, so I can follow up later with them. And I've put them into different sequences that, again, they're going to be given more value, and eventually this will lead to more sales. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this. I'll put a link for you to download this as a PDF. And what I'd like you to do is I want you to come up with your own sequence. I want you to make your own lead magnet. It should be a product that can link to other products inside your store. You're going to give it to them for free, but you got to make sure it's good. Free doesn't mean garbage. Free means you want to put your best foot forward. So something really, really good, not huge, but really good. Okay. Then you're going to come up with your 3 emails. 3. And you're going to link to another product. Okay. And this is the first step in your email marketing. This is your lead magnet and your follow-up sequence. And then as we go through the modules, we're going to expand on these, and we're going to talk more about things like tagging and other sequences. Okay. I'll speak to you soon. Hey guys, welcome to Module 2, Forms and Landing Pages. So what we're going to be talking about here is what are forms and landing pages, and what the differences are between the two, how to incorporate them into your WordPress or Blogger website, and how to use them on their own, and how to integrate them inside third-party software like ClickFunnels. Okay, great. So let's dive into my ConvertKit main page. Okay, so to get here, you can click Forms, or you can click this little envelope. Either way, it gives the same thing. You can see here it shows number of subscribers I have. It shows you where those subscribers are coming from. For instance, Physics of Santa got 49 on that day, etc. These are all the forms that I have. I have quite a few forms, as well as landing pages. Now I'm going to show you how to make these. Okay, and you can also toggle this as well. Last 30 days. This gives you a different perspective of the same thing. So we're going to go to Create Form. Now either landing page or form, doesn't matter. We're going to start off with landing page. Now the landing pages and forms built in here, they're not as straightforward as using a service like Lead Pages or ClickFunnels, but they do the trick, and they're actually quite effective if you know how to use them. So like I said, let's take a look. So landing page. So I usually pick this one. This little guy here is going to give you a picture in the background. I already got one downloaded. It's the same one I used for this course. So I'm going to pick that one out. And when you save it and have a look, that's what it looks like. Okay, so it's got that email in the background, and we're going to add more stuff here and make the picture bigger, and it'll look a little bit better. Okay. So I'm just going to call this something that I can identify with very easily later. So I'm just going to make a bit of a different name. We're going to call it test landing page. Okay, we're going to save that. I'm going to rename it. I'm going to call it test landing page. We can go up here. We can change our colors. So background color, we can just make it white. Background pattern, text color, we can make it black, etc. Okay, button color, change all that as well. Provide more detail. Let's save that. Okay, provide more detail. If you get rid of it, it's just gone, so we can get rid of that. Describe your product. This is a test product. A few more details. I'm going to say place more detail here. Now here you can add an image. You can see the image there. You can add links, etc. There's lots of stuff you can put in here. This is more the WordPress type thing. You even have HTML code you can put in, change the formatting, put a horizontal row, alignment change, etc. But I'm just going to get rid of that for now. We can change this. We can say, yes, I want the amazing freebie, etc. Okay. Save. Edit step 2. Now this we're going to change around with some code in the back end, which I'm going to show you. It's very easy. It's the same every time. But a couple of things. We're going to get rid of this. We're just going to say, I'm going to say, what is your best email address? And that's what they're going to use to get their thing. Okay. You get rid of that unless you want to put something in. No need to put a picture there if you don't want to. And then instead of subscribe, I usually write submit, or I want the newsletter, or what have you. Okay. Save. So now this is what it looks like here. Okay. Test landing page. This is a test product. We can make, there we go. Okay, now we're going to go to settings. Now the code that I wanted to tell you about goes right here, custom CSS, and it's the same every time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go like this. I'm going to copy it over, and I'll put this code in the description. Okay. Now when that's in there, now it looks a little different. Okay, test landing page. And again, you put in a different picture, it looks a little different, etc. Okay, and when we insert it into our web page, it's going to look even better. So close that now. Okay, so main settings. Full landing page. Usually what I do is when they enter that, I send them to a thank you page. Thank you pages are more effective. You can try to upsell them on something else. You can customize it. It's a much more effective thing. So we could just go there and go www.yourwebsite.com. And now we can also automatically subscribe them to a sequence. So let's just say it was a biology thing they opted in for, like the example in module 1. I'll go here and I'll automatically subscribe them to my biology and make them mandatory. Good. Incentive email. This is the email that goes out initially. So as soon as this all happens, this is the welcome email, the sending the lead magnet email, etc. If you don't want to do it, you can just go like this. So if your sequence is the first email that you want to send, like that biology sequence we just did, you just unclick that. But we're going to click it for now. That's where it's coming from. We're going to confirm. So we're going to change the subject. We're going to say, you're welcome email, etc. Okay. Thanks for signing up. Click below to confirm your subscription. I usually just say click below to download your whatever it is, right? Activity, lesson, etc. And then I change this to download. I just find it looks a little bit better. And I usually change this to something like speak to you soon. Okay, and then if it's a file hosted on Dropbox, you can put the URL of the Dropbox here. You can also attach a file here. So if I wanted to attach that image that I put on the front, right? If they're opting in for this image, I put that in there, and now when they hit download, they'll download the image. And then I like to hit auto confirm new members. There's a big thing about double opt-ins. I don't find that they help. I find I can always get rid of my cold subscribers later for people who don't want to, and I don't like it. So I just auto confirm. Okay, done. Style. You could change up the way it looks. Generally, we'll just leave it. Embed. We're gonna need. Well, you can use it if you want. If you're using Blogger, you're going to need this. You're going to click here and you go raw HTML, and we're going to talk about that later on. Okay, I wrote a whole other blog post about it, but when it says go to raw HTML, this is what you're going to pick. Form integrations, we don't need that, and if you want to duplicate it later, you can do it there. Okay, so we're done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over to my dashboard. This is my WordPress. So I use WordPress to do all these things. And once you've downloaded the free ConvertKit plugin, it makes it really, really easy. So if I go to a new page, eventually when it loads, while it's loading, I'll show you this. This is where I got my image from. It's pixabay.com. I love it. It's free. no, you don't need to attribute where you got the images from. It's just, I like it a lot. Okay, so new page. We're going to call it test landing page, just like our other one. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to grab it from the ConvertKit portion over here. So it's a landing page, so we're going to go here, and I'm going to find it. There it is. Now the beauty thing about this is that I can actually tag someone who is on my email address who lands on this page. So say Joe Smith, who is not tagged as a biology teacher, lands on this page for some reason. And this is, the biology opt-in page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that they get tagged as biology teacher. If they're already tagged as biology teacher, it doesn't matter. And then we're going to go up to here. We're going to go, I usually make it a landing page. Of course, you can make it anything so it looks, integrates well with your blog. So it's got the right sidebar. You can have anything you like. In fact, I'll just leave it as default. But you can also make it, it's a standalone page as well. So now what we're going to do is we're going to let that link up. While it's doing that, I'll just show you this page here. So again, I wrote a blog post how to integrate ConvertKit inside Blogger. So I'll link to this blog post in the information below. But it just shows you everything you need to do the exact same thing, except put everything into Blogger. Okay, so same idea. There's the HTML code thing that I was talking about. So again, I'll link that. Okay, so let's take a look at what our page looks like here. There it is. So if you land on this page, you go, I want my freebie, put your email address in, and you're done. Okay. So that is the landing page. Now, in a very similar way, I'm just going to copy this title. I'm going to go back to forms. I'm just going to show you one more thing actually. So if I go here, I can change the style so I can make it a different looking picture. So if I picked this, it's got the opt-in on the sidebar. Here it's got the picture above and the information below. You can play around with these, see which one works best for what you're looking at. I generally just pick this one here, as I was saying. Okay, back to forms. Remember, it's forms / landing pages, same idea. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a form. Same idea. I usually just pick this one. You can pick the other two if you prefer. Okay, so same idea. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to just call it, to test landing page, test form. Let's call it test form. Easy. Save. And again, we can do very similar things here. This is where we can put our image in. So if I wanted to, put that image in of the email guy, go like that. Okay. Test form. That's all the same. There's a subscribe. We can change that to submit. Save. Again, I can change around, the styles of the button, colors, everything like that. Okay. Settings. Same idea. Okay. It's a form, so we're going to put it onto our website. So again, if you're using Blogger, I'll refer you to this page here. If you're using WordPress, I'll walk you through that momentarily. Now, what do you want them to see once they submit your form? Well, you can either have a success message, or you can redirect them to a thank you page, which I prefer. So again, something like www.thankyoupage.com. And again, we can subscribe them automatically. Incentive, same idea. We're going to change this around to make it fit what we're talking about. Add our lead magnet, auto confirm. Style, we're going to put that CSS code in again. Now you can always duplicate things later on. So for instance, if I go to here and I duplicate this form later on, it'll already have that CSS code in. You don't need to do it over and over again. Now what we're going to do is we're going to embed it. Now, again, if you're using Blogger, you click here. If you're using WordPress, you click here. So I'm just going to go back to my WordPress. Here we go. I'm going to make a new page. And on my new page, I'm going to just actually insert that form. So this makes it so you can just add the form in on top of other information if you want. So I'm just going to go to add new. So if I wanted to have a video on there, an added video, I could add the video. If I wanted to have a different form or more information, or I want to put it in the middle of a blog post, or I wanted to, write a page about how to teach biology, then I could put that form in there so that they could opt in for the demonstration that I have. Okay, so I'm going to call it test form page. So you could write anything you like. Header, information about biology. Thanks for coming. I'm going to leave this space open here. I'm going to go to this text portion right there. You can see this guy right there. That's the spacer. So when I go to ConvertKit and I pull this code right here, as long as I have the ConvertKit plugin, it'll work. Just go here inside the text, you paste it in, and it's done. There it is right there. Now it'll show up. I'll show you what that looks like again. And then once again, you can tag them as a biology teacher. So if you land on this page and you're already a subscriber to my list, there's cookies and stuff that go around, and that'll put you into the biology tag. And then you'll see later on in the other modules, once you're tagged, we can set up so that once you're tagged, you're automatically put into a sequence. So that's pretty cool too. So I'm going to publish this. And then as soon as this is published, we're going to take a look at it, see what we think. And then I'm actually going to subscribe to this, and then we'll go back to ConvertKit and you can see what it looks like once you've subscribed to a form. So view page. Okay, there's our header, information about biology. You can see how we've incorporated into other things. We could get rid of this if we picked a different kind of page. More information on the below, etc. Okay, so on this kind of form, I'd say something like, if you want to get the digestive system demonstration, enter your email address below. So I'd put it in. Submit. Okay, and again, I put in thankyoupage.com as my redirect. So here we go. There's our thank you page. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to ConvertKit. I'm going to take a look. I'm going to go to subscribers, and there I am. I'm a subscriber on here, which is kind of neat. And if you click my profile, you can see everything else that I've subscribed to, and I test everything with this email address, so you can see it's got quite a few tags on it. And I get quite a few sequences as well. So I get a lot of emails from myself, which is nice. It makes me feel good. And that is about it. Okay, so that's how you make your forms. That's how you do all those other things. Now, what I wanted to show you is how you can, if you use ClickFunnels, which again I highly recommend, and later on I'm going to be showing you a few other things about it too in one of the other modules. Okay, so we are in my ConvertKit funnel page. This is just one of the funnels that I have. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly make a few steps here. So I'm going to call it test page. So these pages are pages that you can drive traffic to, get email sign-ups, and I'm going to show you how we can integrate the forms we made in ConvertKit into the pages here. And I'm just going to pick the most basic one I can find, really. I'm just going to pick this one here. I'll pick this one. But there's so many different ones you can see, right? So you pick whatever you like. And I'm going to make a confirmation page. Confirmation page. And I'll just pick the first one that comes up. Sale, confirmation, pick that one. Okay, back to our test page here. So, discover the number one, discover, how about we just say discover how to generate, or how about we do it? Integrate ClickFunnels and ConvertKit. And you can change the color and everything, and you can change the text here, and you can quickly add. You can add a picture here. You put a picture in, any picture you like. I'll put that one in. Change the height. So on. Okay, and there's a whole bunch of other things you can do. You can add a video. Right? If I wanted to, I could just go like this. One column, go down here, and I could throw a video in, or I could put a button in, or I could put an input area in, or what have you. Okay, so I'll just click that. You just paste the link from YouTube in. Okay, so that's all you do for that. You can also make this a lot wider as well, just by going like this. Oh, there it is. Full page. So then we make it wider too. So you can just change it around however you like. Okay. So you change that. You change this. What we're going to do is we're going to have set action go submit form, and that's going to go to the next stage in the funnel. So that'll be good. The thing we need to do is we need to accept our integration. So when we integrate, what we're going to do is we're going to connect any email address that's added here and clicked here is going to be sent to where we want it to go. So I'm going to connect it to my ConvertKit. I'm going to connect it to one of the forms we just made. So I'll find it now. This part's got to search for the one that we made. I made it so that it would stand out quite well. So there we go, test landing page. And then you go out here, you save it, and you're done. Okay, so now let's test it out, see if it worked. I'm going to go out, and you can change this URL as well. Go back in. There we are. Okay, pops out. A lot of different effects you can do. This is obviously, there's no video here, so that's why it looks like that. I'm going to type my email address in. Download the free report, or download the, you could use this to download the lead magnet if you wanted to. You could hook up the lead magnet so that the person then gets it on the welcome page. You could hook up anything you like, okay? Because all this does, and then it goes to the confirmation page so they can get their thing. The main thing that this does is that it goes from, so there's our test landing page. There I am right there. So that's what I just subscribed to, right? So I subscribe to this. Where is it here? Okay, so you can see right there, test landing page. So I just subscribe to that form. And then we can go over here and we can see, and I can just show you again the power of this, is that once I subscribe on ConvertKit and it gets sent to once I subscribe on ClickFunnels and it gets sent to ConvertKit, I'm automatically put in the biology teacher funnel. I'm automatically going to receive this incentive email, and this could be the lead magnet, the thing that you want to send them, so it automatically gets sent to them. It's pretty amazing software. It's a little extra software. You don't need it. You can get by without it. It just works really, really well. It looks great. It's easy to use, but again, it's not necessary. It's just more of a perk to make things easier, to sort of streamline the whole process. So if you have any questions about this, let me know. There is a link to it in the main description, or the main module description page as well. Okay, so thanks very much. If you have any questions, again, let me know, and I'll see you in Module 3. Welcome to Module 3, Tagging and Segmenting Your List. Now, grouping your list into specific sections or buckets is the most powerful thing you can do as an email marketer. Grouping allows you to not only send information to the people that want to receive it, but you don't send information to people who don't want to receive it. So in Module 3, we're going to learn how and when to tag your audience, and 2, how to segment your list based on different criteria. Now, why do you need to segment your list? Well, we all get way too many emails, and we can all agree on that. So we need to fight for our audience's attention, and we need to be relevant, okay? Because relevance equals opens, and opens are good. Now, what's a good example? Well, the best example I can think of is that if you're a kindergarten teacher, you have no interest in something like senior physics or senior biology, right? So if I only have a single list, I have no choice but to send everything to everyone. Now the problem with that is that the kindergarten teacher is going to be sick and tired of seeing the emails about the biology or the physics in high school, and so they're probably going to unsubscribe, and we don't want that. Now the benefits of tagging and segmenting, well, we get higher open rates. We get more interaction and clicks. Both of these will allow you to avoid the spam filter, because a lot of these spam filters like Gmail are very, very smart, and they notice and they get information from your email provider. And if you're not getting high open rates, if you're getting a lot of people saying that you're sending spam to them or information that's not relevant to them, then they'll actually start throwing it into the spam filter more often, and that's not good for you. You're going to get less unsubscribes, and these are people you generally pay for or you give things to, or some interaction that you've had with these people, so you don't want to lose these people. These people are your warm audience. These are your people. You don't want to lose these people. And you can follow up on purchases and downloads, and this is so important. You can get additional sales, support. When things come up, you can quickly notify your audience. It's still the best means of communication out there. And being able to follow up on different purchases and downloads is so key. And you can remind people of upcoming events and launches. So let's take a look at what tagging looks like in action, and I'll show you how I do it. So welcome to my dashboard. So what I want to do is I want to show you some of the segments and tags that I already have set up and show you how I use them. So we'll go to my subscriber tab, and then what I'm going to show you, the tag I'm going to show you is right here, tagged as a science teacher. The criteria for this, so segments and tags, segments are you are able to group people based on certain criteria. So for this one here, it's called tagged as a science teacher. So to be tagged as a science teacher, you need to have any of these criteria. Okay, you can be biology, 5 to 8, etc. So if you're one of these, you fall into the tagged as a science teacher. Obviously, if you're not tagged as a science teacher, I can try to email you to try to get more information about you. What are you teaching? So I can send you the right information. Okay, so that's a very powerful thing. And I can make up a segment. So what we're going to do is I'm going to call this test form segment. And I'm going to show you all the different ones that we can do, and I'm going to relate this later. Okay, so let's just say to be on test form segment, you need to subscribe to test form. Okay, so that's important. But maybe we don't want anyone, so we'd say none people that subscribed before the 3rd of January. Okay, so now no one who was before that date is going to be included. We can add another one. We can say, so it's going to be this and none of this, and it can be all of, so any of this other one. Location. Okay, so we can say 100 miles of New York City, for instance. Okay, so we apply all those, and we have 0 subscribers because it's just a practice one that I'm making up. I'm going to save. Okay, I'm also going to go down, and I'm going to make a tag. And so those segments are automatically populated. That's kind of one of the really cool things. So if someone joins the group and they join via the test form and they're 100 miles of New York, etc., they will automatically get put into that segment. Okay, and actually I'm going to change this test form segment. Let's change the location. I'm going to say 10,000 miles so that it works for our thing. But that would exclude some people, I assume. Some people around the world. Okay, so now we're back in there. So now let's take a look at our tags. I'm going to do a similar thing. I'm going to create a tag. I'm going to call it test tag. And we're going to use that later. And we're going to save that. Great. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go up to forms. We're going to reacquaint ourselves with test form. So we have the test form here, and we know that it's automatically going to segment someone into biology. It's going to tag them as biology. It's going to put them to this sequence here. And it's going to send them to this thank you page. So now I have that test form up. So here's the test form. So it's just the test form that I've placed on my website. And you can see I can have writing above it, writing below it. I'm going to add email. I'm going to call it testemail@gmail.com. I'm going to call it test1187@gmail.com so we can find it very easily. And I'm going to submit. And it's going to take us to our thank you page, our thank you page from last time, thankyou.com. Okay, now we're going to take a look at, we're going to go back here, and we're going to take a look at our subscribers. And we're going to find this person. We're going to take a look at where they are right now. Okay, so they have been put into the biology funnel like we talked about. They're part of the onboarding sequence, which is another sequence that I have, and they signed up through the test form. So that's not too bad. They also got placed in the test form segment because they fit all the criteria, which is great. Okay. But now we're going to try something else. I'm going to go back here. Nope, wrong one. I'm going to go to automations. I'm going to make a new automation. Sorry. One more thing. I'm going to make a sequence. I'm just going to make a pretend sequence to get us started. I'm going to call it test form sequence, and then we're going to put them all together. Create sequence. Automations. We're going to make a new visual automation. Create automation. Joins a form. There it is, test form. When they join test form, we're going to tag them as test form, test tag, add action. We're also going to put them into an email sequence, test form sequence. And we're going to add that one as well. And that's the end of the automation. So when someone signs up for the test form, they now get tagged as test tag, and they get put into the test form sequence. And let's make sure that all works now. We're going to activate it. Okay, so that's on. We're going to go back here. We're going to redo this. I'm just going to refresh this page. I'm going to call it now test. Let's just call this 200@gmail.com. Okay, so our second test. Submit. Back to our thankyou.com page. There we go. Back to ConvertKit. Back to subscribers. There it is. Let's see what it's tagged as. Look at that. It's already tagged as test tag. There's the form. There's the sequence. All nice and tidy. There's the segment. We're all ready to go. That is tagging and segments. And if you remember back to what I was saying before, they are so powerful because they allow me to send emails to people that are just applicable to these emails. So for instance, this form we have sent out to the biology sequence. So let's pretend that test form was some kind of biology lead magnet. They would get the biology information. They wouldn't get my chemistry information because they may not care about chemistry. Okay, they'll get the bio. Now, if they are also chem, they can also sign up for the chem. Okay, and these tags will also come in handy later on too, because when we set up a broadcast, which I'll show you in the next module, but just a very, very basic one. If I go new broadcast, what I can do, who's going to see this? Well, we're going to just send it to subscribe to tags, test tag, update, and there's one. So only this people in the test tag will receive this. So this could be a broadcast about, some biology related information, since we said this person was biology as well, but whatever this test tag represents, we can just email to the test tag, and that's how powerful it is. Okay. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll see you in the next module. Welcome to Module 4, Broadcasts. So broadcasts are the one and done emails that you use for timely promotion, sales, seasonal offers, etc. They're typically the type of email you send out as a newsletter, the type of thing that MailChimp allows you to send out. And that's kind of the only thing that people who are starting out an email, these are really the only emails that people send out. Now, it doesn't mean that they're not good. It doesn't mean that there's no place for the broadcast. There's definitely a place for broadcast. I send a broadcast every week updating my email list on what's going on. But let me show you how we do it in ConvertKit. So in this module, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to set up a broadcast, A/B subject line testing, excluding certain people via tags, sequences, or forms, sending from multiple email addresses and names, so you only need one account. This is great if you have more than one account, if you have more than one business, more than one store, etc. You can send from one ConvertKit account and only pay for one account. Scheduling and resending to those who don't open your initial broadcast. So let's check it out. Okay, so we are in my main page. So I'm going to go over to broadcasts, and we're going to open up my broadcasts. And these are all the ones that I had previously sent. And I'm going to go to new broadcasts. Now here's the drop down menu, and I can send from my normal email address, or I can send from these other ones as well. Okay, I'm going to send from my normal one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, first of all, pick who I'm going to send this to, and I'm just going to pick the one that we did in module 4, module 3. I'm going to send to test broadcast, or test tag only. Okay, so only people in test tag are going to receive this. That's only one subscriber. Okay, now the beauty of this is that I can actually exclude people as well. And let's do something. I'm just going to have something else that I do as well. Me only. So I have a tag that's called me only. Okay, and we're just going to play. We're not going to say all. We're going to say any. So this or this, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to exclude me only. We're going to see what happens. None. So see how we have 2 now? Now we're going to exclude me only. This is the simplest way I felt to do this, okay? So obviously you have test tag plus me only minus me only. It only leaves test tag. What we did last time, okay? So that's only 1 subscriber. So that's how you can add certain tags. You can also add them based on anything, really. Sequences that they're part of, tags that they're part of, forms that they've enrolled in, all these things, okay? And not just subscribe to. You can do cold subscribers, locations within segments, date that they subscribed, subscriber details, etc. Okay, so pretty much everything that you can think of. We're going to go next step. Now we're going to click this. This is the A/B subject testing. Okay, that just means that it's going to send 15% of the emails to the first subject, 15% to the second subject, and it's going to pick the winner. And the winner is going to be the one with the most opens. So the winning subject is going to be sent to the remainder of the people on your list. So if I just did this and call this subject 1, and then I call it, subject 2, the return. Okay. So which one of these is more likely to be open? Well, we don't know. We don't know until we send it out. So what we're going to do is we're going to send to both, and then ConvertKit will automatically pick a winner, which is kind of cool. Okay. And then we're just going to write our subject in here. So what happens is that they send it out for the first couple hours, and then the winning subject line gets sent to the rest of your email address. And we'll just call this email content. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go next step, and we're going to schedule it. Okay, so we can send it immediately, or we can schedule it sometime in the future. Let's just say January 25th at 4 p.m. sounds about right. Schedule broadcast, and we're done with that. Now, before I go, what I want to do is I want to show you something really, really neat that ConvertKit does. Okay, this is a broadcast that I sent earlier today. It's just a test broadcast that I sent to myself. Okay, now you can see that it has 1 recipient, me, but 0% open rate because I didn't open it on purpose. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to View Report, and this is one of the powerful things. I can resend to unopens. So I'm going to resend to everyone. So say not just one. So say 1,000 people got this email and 800 of them did not open it. Well, I can go resend to unopened, and it's only going to resend to those people who did not open the previous email. And I can call this, we change the subject line a little bit, test broadcast 1.1, the beginning. And then we're going to restate our subject. Our content shouldn't be exactly the same, but you're resending the same broadcast, so you should make the content pretty similar. Next step, and send broadcast. You can also save it to be sent later as well. And then we're done. So you can see here that test broadcast 1.0 is broken into 2 different things. Okay, the 2 different ones here. And that's going to be its total information that it gathers afterwards. Okay, so that's broadcast for you. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next module. Hey everyone, welcome to Module 5, Sequences. So when we're looking at sequences, what we're trying to do is we're providing value and staying top of mind. That is what our sequences are. Sequences are simply a series of emails that come out sequentially. The main goal of sequences is to provide a great deal of value, like I was saying, to your audience, while also building trust as well as your brand. Sequences are the email version of a funnel where you welcome your new visitors, provide some value, introduce your products, increase sales. Sequences can also be used to gain insight into your customers and allow further tagging and segmentation. Now, what are we going to do in this module? Well, we're going to create a basic sequence. We're going to create an automation that brings people into the sequence and removes them when they're done. We're going to create a rule that is triggered by clicks within the sequence, and we're going to demonstrate 2 sequences from my own account. So let's take a look. Well, welcome here to my dashboard. Now what we're going to do, number 1, is we're going to create a basic sequence. So it's very easy, and I have a few tabs up here, but we're just going to use this one here. We click on sequences right here. From here we say create sequence. And we're going to call this sequence 5 test sequence. Easy. Okay, so here's our basic outline. We have one email, we can add a few more. Okay. You'll notice it says draft. That means it's not ready to be sent out yet. If you want to change this, so say we're ready, we go to published. Okay, a couple other things around the dashboard part here. We can delay the sending. So as soon as a person gets put into this sequence, they're going to wait a whole day before they receive this one. So we can change that. We can make that 1 hour, or we can make that immediate. Okay, if you pick 0, then it's immediate. We can exclude certain people. So if I wanted to exclude a certain tag, let's just call it don't teach science. Okay, not very grammatically correct, but let's just pick that one anyways. Okay, so people who are tagged as they don't teach science, they're not going to get this sequence. Okay, this page I should say. Okay, now if we want to make it so that none of these emails are sent to people like that, I'm going to save, go to settings, and we can actually exclude them right here. So again, if I wanted to, pick the people who don't teach science, we click that there, and now those people will not receive this sequence. Okay, none of these emails will. But the power of this is that if we wanted to control individual emails, so say in this one here, we also don't want anyone who subscribed before November 7th at 1 a.m. Okay, now these people won't get this email, and so on and so forth. We can do that for the whole thing. So back to the settings. We can pick the day that we want the sequence to come out. Okay, so maybe we don't want them to come out Sunday because maybe we send a broadcast every Sunday. So we uncheck that. We can pick the time that it comes out. Okay, we can also see in our reports. Now, obviously, this is a brand new sequence. There's not going to be any information. But if I go to reports, you can see a good deal of information here. You can see how many times the email has been sent, each one, the open rate and the click rate, as well as how many people have unsubscribed from each email. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just copy this, and we're going to go to forms. And I'm going to make a form of the same name. So if you just recall, we go click create form. I'm going to call it this one right here. And I'm going to go like that. Okay, I'm going to call this form, change the name there. Okay, and we're going to go to save, just to keep everything pretty straight here. So what I've done is I've created a form. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to check out the automations section. I'm going to show you how we're going to funnel people directly into the sequence from the automation. So I can open it up here. I'm going to go new automation, create automation, joins a form, and that one was sequence. There we are. Add event. So what happens when they join that form? Well, we're going to send them directly into the sequence. There it is. And there's a visual representation of our sequence. Now if I go back here and I click view, okay, this is our form. Again, we can change this all up, and we talked about this before. But if I go to view, and obviously I'm just going to do a test here. I'm going to pick that one right there, and we're going to subscribe. Okay, now all it did give us a thank you message. That's fine. We're going to go back to our visual automation. We'll talk about more of this in the next section. And in a minute when this kicks in, you're going to be able to see that this person was actually subscribed to this sequence as well. Okay, and while we're over here, we can change this. We can call it sequence test sequence as well to keep everything the same. It's because I had to pause. Turn it on. Okay, let's try that one more time. View. Put it in one more time. Subscribe. But I love seeing this visual aspect of the sequence. It's really, really, really nice. And next, like I said, next module is going to be all about the automation. So we'll come back to this. Okay, so what else are we going to do? Well, let's create a rule. Okay, so a rule within this sequence. So let's go back to the sequence. Sequence. I'm going to search by sequence. There we are. Okay, so in this first email, we're just going to change this. We're just going to say, if you click this link, you will be tagged as sequence 5 test sequence. Click here to tag. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to highlight this, and I'm going to put in a URL. I'm going to say, click www.testlink.com, and it doesn't really matter. And what we're going to do is we're going to click this button right here where it says tag subscribers who click this link. Now this is going to create a link tag for us. So I'm going to say sequence 5, sequence 1. Let's leave it at that. Okay, so we're going to insert this. Okay, so if you're in this sequence and you click that, you're going to be tagged as this. So you're going to automatically get a tag, which is so powerful. So let's just say this is an email that was looking at sending out a new product, a new kind of product, like for instance, I do lab station. So I send out a new lab station activity. So then if someone clicks this link, I can tag them as being interested in lab stations. And then I can send them into an automated sequence where if they're tagged as liking lab stations, they automatically get put into the lab station sequence, which is obviously very, very powerful. So I click here to insert, and then it's all done. Save all. Okay, so then that will happen automatically. Okay. Now the last thing that we're going to do is I'm going to show you 2 sequences that I have, just to show you how large we can make this kind of thing. So the first here is the Bread in the Bag freebie opt-in that I went over in Module 1. Okay, we have 3 emails in the sequence. You can see each one has a link. Okay, and these links, if we go here, they do not automatically send someone somewhere. But what I could do is if I click here and I say, okay, well, if you click on this, well, you're obviously a biology teacher. So I'm going to tag you as a biology teacher. Done. And I could do that for this one. I could make this one into a 5e. So if, for instance, if you click on this, you're automatically going to get the next 5e lesson sequence. So that, it's going to promote my 5e lessons. And same thing down here. So this is an example of a sequence. Okay, one of my smaller sequences. Now if you check this one out, this is a huge sequence. This is what I call my onboarding sequence. And what I do to make sure that people aren't getting too many emails from me is I delay sending of this to 30 days. So when you join my list, you automatically get put into this sequence. Okay, but you don't receive the first email for 30 days because the first email is all about my book. Okay, so my book is here, but I want you to get to know me before I show you my book, because you won't want it at the beginning, right? Hopefully by 30 days in, we've got to know each other a little bit, and maybe you'll want it at this time. Okay, so I delay sending by 30 days. And then you can see here, okay, well, for all your ecology teachers, well, if you take a look at the filter, it's going to exclude anyone who's a chemistry teacher or a physics teacher, because they're probably not going to get the ecology stuff. Okay. A new kind of activity. Here's my digital interactive notebooks. Okay, lots more. We have so many here. You can see the size of this sequence here. It's just gigantic. Okay, and what we're going to see in our next section is what happens when we end this sequence. So when I get down to here, well, what happens when we get down to here? Well, we can automatically move people from one sequence to another using our rules, which are so powerful as well. Okay, so that's all I have for this module here on sequences. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next module. Hey guys, and welcome to Module 6, Automation. This is where it gets really neat, so let's dive right in. So in Module 6, we're going to review and compare rules and the visual automation builder. We're going to use automation to instantly tag your audience and add members to different sequences, all from a simple form opt-in. We're going to automatically tag people based on link clicks within sequences, and we're going to move people to another sequence once the previous has already finished. So let's take a look at my dashboard and get right to it. Okay, so here we are once again in my dashboard. So what we're going to do, first of all, we're going to review and compare visual editor versus rules. So both of them are in the automation section. And we've been looking at the visual editor quite a bit, so I'm not going to spend too much time. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go through the basics. So I'm going to open up a new automation. So we can start the automation by someone joining a form when a tag is added or when a custom field. Okay, now we can custom field, much more complicated. Okay, so let's just stick with tags and joins a form. Okay, so let's just start with joins a form. And I made a new form, so we're going to do sequence 6 test form. Okay, so if they do sequence 6 test form, okay, that's our first one right there. Okay, we can also do this. Like we can combine the two of them. So if you do a tag, so if they either do, okay, let's just put a random one in here. Okay, so we have either they opt in through the sequence 6 test form, or they click click the book purchase link. Either one of those, all go right down here. Okay, so what are we going to do? Well, if they click either one of those, which seems to be kind of random, we're going to put them into an email sequence. Okay, so we can either do this, we can add and remove a tag, we can move subscribers, and then we can do some more more complicated things like delay the movement and so on. We can also set conditions. Okay, so we're only going to do this if the subscriber has a certain tag. Okay, well, maybe we're only going to do this if they have a tag of they're a 5e bundle purchaser. That's our condition. Okay, so if they're a 5e bundle conditioner, yes, we'll go this way. No, we'll go that way. So let's just say yes. We're going to put them into an email sequence. I'm going to put them into the sequence that I made up, sequence 6 test sequence. And if not, we'll put them into, again, I'm just picking some general stuff here. We'll just put them into my DINB follow-up sequence. Okay, just to showcase what things can do here. Okay, so now if they go, this is what our overview is. So if they go either of these two guys, okay, they get put into this tag. Okay, if they have the 5e bundle purchaser tag, okay, then they're going to be sent here. If they don't have the tag, they're going to go here. Okay, so now let's just assume they do, and they get sent into the sequence 6 test sequence. Okay, and that's where we want them. Okay, now from here we can add a few more things. Okay, so if they go into the sequence, again, we can tag them, we can add them to another sequence, etc. Okay, so that's the visual automator, and then we would obviously turn that on. Okay, we would turn it on, and now it's live. So that's, and then we can rename over here. So we'll call this test automation, and then that's saved just like that. Okay, so there's your basic outline. Now this is kind of a complicated one. We have conditions. You don't have to have conditions in as well. Okay, we can probably edit this step. We can delete the condition, and we can go back and just do something very basic. We can just say if you either opt in through this form or you are tagged via that tag, you get put into a sequence, and we'll just call it the sequence 6 sequence. Okay, just to keep things very, very simple. And there we go. So either one of these two guys will put you into here, and then it saves automatically. Now, visual automator is slightly different from rules. Rules are more of a quick way of doing things. Now I have lots and lots of rules, and I'll show you some of them maybe afterwards. But what we're doing, pretty much, we have an if and then. So when this event happens, then this will happen. And there's so many things to choose from, but it's not too different from the visual automator. Okay, so we can say if the person subscribes to a sequence, then either we can subscribe them to another sequence, we can unsubscribe them from a sequence, we can subscribe them to a form, add a tag, remove a tag, etc. And this is useful, right? So say they clicked a link that said, I'm no longer a teacher. Okay, so they clicked a link maybe down here, and then that's going to remove this tag. Kind of a neat thing. And similarly, if they subscribe to a form, we can add them to a sequence, we can add them to a form, we can add a tag, we can remove a tag. If they complete a sequence, so let's just say sequence 6. Okay, so they complete sequence 6 test sequence because they got through all the emails. So what we can do is now we can unsubscribe them. right? They don't need to be in it anymore if they're finished. And at the same time, we can subscribe them to this, the follow-up sequence. Just like I have onboarding 1 and onboarding 2, this is sequence 6 test and sequence 6 completed. And then we would just save the rule. Okay? And then when any of this happens, then we're all set to go. Okay? But I'm going to show you something else as well. This is pretty cool too. If you ever use Gumroad, and I use Gumroad to sell some things, you can actually set it up here. So if you click here and you say, okay, Gumroad, and they're going to purchase something. Okay, so let's just, they purchase my physics mega bundle. Well, then we can tag them as, I'll find it here somewhere. But anyways, we can tag them as this. So if they purchase this, we tag them as that. So it happens automatically. And Gumroad is not even a part of ConvertKit. It's just an integration they have. So I find that's pretty amazing. Okay, so that's our visual automator versus our rules. Okay, and now if we go back here, so there's our sequence 6 test form. So I know we've kind of done this a few times, but once again, if we were to go like this, and we were to subscribe to sequence 6, that would trigger all our automations. Where is it here? So that would trigger the automation that we just created down here as soon as it loads up. And we have one total subscriber, because that's what I just did, right? So I'll pull this one up real quick, and you can see. That's not showing up on here quite yet, but it will. It will happen. It'll show up very soon. Okay, so that's how we can funnel in. So as soon as they go into this, okay, so now we're going to be in the sequence 6 test sequence. Now the beauty thing is we have it set so as soon as I'm done this one, well, I'm going to be put into the next one too, which is kind of neat. So you continue the relationship on and on and on. Now I'm just going to pick a sequence here. So I think this is, yeah, it's got a sequence here. So once again, if I were to make something a hyperlink, so let's just say I make this, I say, you know, hyperlink to financial freedom. Okay. And again, I were to make this, and I'll call this www.financialfreedom.com. Okay, and again, I can tag people as this. So if you click this link, well, now I'm going to say, okay, well, I'm going to tag you as someone. So I'm going to say interested in financial freedom, okay? Or grade 1 math, or grade 12 biology, whatever it is, it doesn't matter, okay? We're going to make this link, clicking this link, we're going to make it do something. So clicking this link is now going to tag this person automatically. Now if you set up your visual automator so that a tag of interested in financial freedom then triggers a whole slew of other things like sequences, forms, everything that you can subscribe someone to is all done automatically. It's all automated, which is just, it's amazing. And that's it for this. That's all the automations, the main automations that you can do. But you can see that everything can be automatically integrated. Everything from signing up to an opt-in. So you can put say you made a Facebook ad, and that Facebook ad had a link to a form that you made. So you made a form, you put the form on your website. That link from Facebook goes directly to your website. They opt into something like the bread in the bag demonstration like we did in Module 1. Okay? From there, the person automatically gets put into your automation sequence and automatically is tagged as a biology teacher, gets put in the bread in the bag sequence, and then you have it set so that as soon as they're done the bread in the bag sequence, they're automatically unsubscribed from that and subscribe to the biology sequence, and so on. Everything's automated. You don't touch anything. You don't need to be worrying about anything. Everything's done for you. So if you have any questions, let me know. There's a few resources in the website, the module website page for this particular set of instructions here. But if you have any other questions, let me know, and I'll help you out as best I can. Okay. Welcome to Module 7, generating a positive ROI from your list, as well as cleaning up and doing some housekeeping items inside ConvertKit. So in this module, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to import email lists and as well as adding individual addresses. Okay, so if you're moving from a different email provider to ConvertKit, or you have a list of email addresses, we're going to show you how to do that right here. Number 2 is adding a countdown timer to create scarcity using a free software program. So a fantastic free software program that I've discovered. I use it all the time. We'll go through that as well. Number 3, generating an ROI from your email list. How I do that, sort of some techniques that I've done. Number 4, changing the email template for different headers and footers to include social icons. A little bit of a ConvertKit hack to make things look the way you want it. And then dealing with cold subscribers. Okay, so we're going to create a segment for future tracking. So let's take a look at my dashboard. Okay, so we're in my dashboard, and what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the subscribers, and what we're going to do, we're going to export a list of subscribers. So let's just say you have a whole bunch of subscribers that you want to take from one place to another for some reason. Maybe you want to tag them all at once, or maybe you want to bring in from MailChimp or what have you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you. I'm just going to take everyone who clicked on my membership link. I'm going to click this little button right here. I'm going to go here, select all 83, and I'm going to go to bulk action, export. Now it says your export is processing. We'll send you an email letting you know when it's ready. So I'm going to go to my email. I'm going to refresh, and there it is. Open it up. I'm going to download it. When I download it, what you're going to see is you're going to see a CSV file. Stands for comma separated value. And what we're going to do is we're going to delete all these columns. We don't need any of these columns. Sometimes it gets in the way of success. We don't need that either. Okay, good. So just got to keep in mind the name. Yes, that's fine. Close it up. Okay, back to ConvertKit. So if we're going to import our subscriber list, you're going to go to import subscribers. Now this is if you are coming from a different mail provider or you make your own list like I did, it doesn't really matter. We're going to drag and drop our subscriber list here. So I'm going to go to my downloads because that's where it went. I'm going to double click on that. I'm going to click here, go to email, and I'm going to put them all into this new tag that I made. Test tag. Okay? And I'm going to import subscribers. Then I'm going to take a look at test tag. I'm going to find it over here. Test tag. Open it up, and there you go. There's all the people that I just imported all ready for me. Okay. So that's importing a whole bunch of people. Now let's just say we want to import one person. So someone gives us their email address. John Smith says, here you go, I want you to start emailing me. We're going to import them. I'm going to put them all in individually in this case. Yes. So we go john.smith@gmail.com. Now we don't have to just put them into one tag. We can put them into anything we want. We can put them into a form. So we're going to put them into the test form. We're going to put them into a sequence. We're going to put them into the BTS giveaway sequence, and we're going to tag them as our test tag. And you could do this with the bulk upload as well. I just simply did the one tag, but we could have done this for anything we want. I just wanted to keep it pretty clear on my end for my account purposes. And that's it. That's all you have to do to import these people in. And there's John Smith right there. Okay. Now the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a broadcast. This is a test broadcast because I'm going to show you this really cool email thing that I have. Okay. And I'm going to send it to subscribe to tag, and we'll just do wish list members. We're not going to send it to anyone anyway. So next step. Now there's this program called Motion Mail app. So if you go to motionmailapp.com, click enter, you come to this. Now I already have an account and I'm already signed in, so I'm just going to go to my dashboard. And you're going to see all the ones that I've already done. Okay, so let's just do this one. We're going to duplicate it. And that's what it's going to look like. Okay, so I'm going to set it to, there we go, tomorrow. And we're going to save this timer. And you can change the background color. You can see it. Sorry. You can see it here. Background color, text color. You can change the shape here. And yeah, it will have powered by Motion Mail. And you can get rid of that if you want to pay for it. But I just use it as is. We're going to copy the link. We're going to go back to ConvertKit. Find that broadcast. And we're going to paste it inside this HTML bracket. I'll put it in like that. And we close the bracket. You can see exactly what the timer looks like. So that's what the people are going to see inside the email. And it's going to count down to that day. So you can say something like, big sale on now until the timer runs out. So, don't miss out. And that brings us up to our next thing. That's our ROI inside of our email, because, we want a good email provider, but we need to be able to get something out of it, right? So how do I generate revenue with my email list? Well, I sell products with it. Okay, I send people to new product lines. So, I might send an email out in a sequence that gets people to download a freebie. Now that freebie might then link to an upsell to sell something else. Or it might just get them interested in a new product line that I have so that hopefully they buy in the future. But if you want a direct ROI, you just simply send people from your email list to a new product that you have out. Okay? So for instance, every week I send out a broadcast. This broadcast, as it processes here, looks something like this. This is the finished version, so it looks a little different than the email that comes out. So if I go to content, you can see all the clicks. Okay, so this is links to all the new products that I put out this week alone. Okay, so I send this email out, I get all these links put in, and I get clicks, and then I get purchases. When sales come up on TBT or anywhere else, I put an email out. People click the links, and they go and buy. Okay, if I release a new kind of product, maybe what I'll do is I do something like this, and I'd say, brand new product now available. Blah 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 blah. This is the most amazing product you'll ever see because ... Okay. For the next 26 hours, I reduced the price by 25%. Okay, blah 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 blah. When the timer runs out, the price goes back up, so don't miss out. Okay, and then you say, here's the link to the product, Devin, and then we go in, we put a link, we www.product.com, and then we tag them and we say clicked new product link, and therefore they are interested. And then we can follow up. So if they click that link, we can follow up the next day, or by clicking this link, they automatically get tagged. We can then have our automation send them into the follow-up sequence that automatically emails them in 3 hours, following up with the click. You like this, you might also like this. Just like on Amazon, you see like people who bought this item also bought that item, right? So we can do this. We can follow up with people who are already interested in what we're talking about. Okay? So that's how we generate our ROI. Okay, it's not simple. You need to build rapport. You need to build trust. You need to build authority with your audience. But once you do, you will have people that want to buy for you, and you're going to provide them a service. You're going to provide them products that they actually want to buy, and will help them and help their situation. Okay. So last two things I want to cover actually is just some more basic housekeeping stuff. So if I want to make my emails look different, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to email templates, and we can actually change the way our email looks. Okay, they have a few templates already set out, but you can also make a new email template here. And if you take a look at the module instructions on the web page, I have a full breakdown, a full printable worksheet that you can see that shows you exactly step by step what to do in order to change the email template. So it's very, very easy for you. You don't need to worry about doing it here. But I'll just click on one and show you the HTML code. Now, this is pretty intimidating for a lot of people, but it's actually quite easy. And once you have my code, which is included in the download, all you got to do is plug in your own links. Okay, so obviously that's not your Facebook link, but as soon as you change the Teach with Fergy into whatever it is that you use for Facebook, that Facebook icon then becomes your page. Okay, and so on and so forth, all the other things. Okay, you can even have a, so I have a Let's Be Social, and then it comes with those things. Okay, you can change the way your unsubscribe link works. Okay, you can add in, sincerely yours, blah, 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 or whatever. Okay, you can make it so that every single one of your emails has the same thing on the bottom or on the top that, sandwich your message automatically. Okay, so that's our email template. And again, check out the download in the page. The last thing I want to do is I want to show you the cold subscribers. Let's close up your windows here. Okay, cold subscribers. Cold subscribers are people who have purchased, or excuse me, who have not opened any one of your emails for the last 2 months. These are people who either you need to re-engage or you want to delete off your list because you are paying for these people. Okay, so what you do is you go to your segments, and we're going to create a segment, and we're going to call it cold subscribers. So create segment, cold subscribers. I already have a cold subscribers segment, so I'm just going to call it cold subscriber 1. And what we're going to select is cold subscribers. Boom, there we go. So I have 1,000 people on my list who are not properly engaged with me right now. Okay, some of these I will delete. Some of them I'm going to send a series of emails to, and I'm going to re-engage them. Okay, and on that walkthrough, it shows you exactly step by step what to do once you've created your segment. But essentially, you're going to create your segment. You are then going to move all those people into a cold subscriber sequence that you've already set up. Okay, so I'm just going to go to it right now. So this is my cold subscriber sequence. So once you have everyone in your segment, okay, you're going to actually tag them, and it shows you that in that walkthrough. But you're going to tag them all at a certain date, and then you're going to import all those people from that tag into this sequence. Okay. So it's really quite easy. What you do is you just go to your cold subscriber segment. You click this button here. Okay. You click this one so it grabs them all. You go to bulk action and you go tag. And then you tag them as a cold subscriber. So I already have a tag for that set up. So you just click there and you go save. And that would be it. Okay. Once they're tagged for that, you then go into that tag and do the same thing and move them all into the sequence. Okay, I'm not going to do that. Not right yet anyhow. So now here's my cold subscriber sequence, and this whole series of emails is actually on that document as well. So you don't need to copy anything. It's all there. You just copy and paste. But essentially, it's 3 emails that try to re-engage your audience. Okay, this last one here is an extra one that I do, but these 3 I've included because they're the ones that I find work the most. Okay, so you have 3 emails that try to re-engage your audience, and if they don't engage with you by the time it's done, it's about 2 weeks, then you delete them off your email list because you're paying for these people and they're not engaging with you. So they're not, you don't want these people anymore on your list anyhow. Okay, so that's the last thing that I wanted to cover. I hope I've answered all your questions about ConvertKit. If you do have any more questions, please send me an email or follow up with me on social media, Facebook, etc. I pretty much teach with Fergy everywhere, and I'll speak to you soon.